Okay, so the government's some hating ass niggas. I'm gonna do this video again. They're trying to drain both of my phones because they don't want me talking about this. So this is my Narcotics Anonymous playlist. So if you see this, this is pretty much for anybody that's a struggling addict or trying to recover. This isn't like, you don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying, be like trying to like 100% recover or just do it right after, you know what I'm saying? This is not no motherfucking rehab, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, this is pretty much like motivation. And, you know, if you just want to hear what I'm saying, being that I'm in recovery, you know, I relapse all the time, so I'm not gonna sit up here and like act like, oh, you know what I'm saying, I've been clean for 10 years when niggas like to lie, like, oh, I've been clean 20 years, oh, damn, well, they smoked crack yesterday. Nah, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, bitch, I wouldn't smoke crack yesterday. Bitch, I don't smoke crack, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing I don't use too. I forgot, that was the only drug I left out. But yeah, so this pretty much is like why, like being an addict, like we just like can't like keep relationships and stuff like that, because like it's harder for us to keep relationships. It's not just like, you know, romantic, it's like platonic, family, all that. So I'm gonna get into it. So this is Narcotics Anonymous, why relationships with people don't always work. So yeah, you can't be friends with people who have different or more addictions than you. If you don't have the same exact addictions, you'll get betrayed and stabbed in the back by them regardless of who you are and what you do. This is because whether they admit it or not, they have an addiction or not, use or not, they will feel judged or prejudged before using. It's human nature. They feel different. It's not rational thinking, but it's human nature. It happens. So whether like someone wants to admit they're an addict or not, this is why the relationships don't work, especially if they don't admit they're an addict. So you could be friends with somebody that could even use the same exact drugs as you, don't even know it, and they're telling you they're sober, while you're telling them you get high every day, and the shit's not working because they can't admit they have an addiction. So they're stuck in their own illusion, and they get insecure when they see you because you're admitting to your addiction. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like for instance, for those who went to rehab, you know, the 12 steps of recovery, all that shit. It's like if you're not in the same step as someone, it's like it's harder to like understand them. Like if you've been to an NA group or a drug rehab or anything like that, Alcoholics Anonymous is trying to mess me up. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual warfare. That's another thing. That's another reason why we get into using and stuff too, because we don't even realize we're going through spiritual warfare every time. So we got to protect ourselves more than we are on the spiritual realm, but the physical realm more so, because since we're not protecting ourselves physically, we can't even protect ourselves spiritually. Sometimes we can't protect ourselves spiritually, so we can't protect ourselves physically. If you're not protecting yourself at all, you're just getting fucked up by life. You know what I'm saying? So then you automatically get stressed out, want to go get high. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. This is why people relapse all the time too, because usually their spiritual and physical protection gets brought down, and then they start, you know, getting in their head. Their chemical imbalances get off. You know what I'm saying? Manipulation, mind control, all that stuff messes with the chemical imbalances too. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You get manipulated into thinking, you know, something else is wrong, when in reality you just don't want to be around these certain people and you push these people away. So let's get into it. Like I said, this is human nature, so don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, oh, you know what I'm saying, like don't feel judged by me. Like just because I'm in recovery don't mean shit. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and be like I said, like the other people that tells you they've been getting high for they've been clean for 10 years and they've been getting high the whole 10 years. I'm not gonna say that. Bitch, I'll tell you what I used yesterday. You know what I'm saying? This is just so somebody can understand or feel not alone, because a lot of us addicts, we use because we feel alone or not heard, so, or being judged. You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty much what the whole topic is on. So many of us hate to believe that we're being forced out of relationships, friendships, family dynamics, work, and friendship groups because of this feeling of being different from those people. Hold on. We have a fear of feeling different by those people, but it's the truth. It's much worse with drug addictions, relationships. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. It's much worse with drug addictions and regular relationships. So it's harder to admit we have a fear of being judged, and we're just breaking up relationships and just ending it for pointless reasons, simply because we just don't want to be judged or, you know what I'm saying, looked at different. You know what I'm saying? Because no one likes feeling different in today's society, the past society, just life in general, because they have this systematic way of making people feel like if they're different, they're not gonna be loved, no one's gonna care about them, they're gonna be alone. Bitch, I am alone and I am different. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's why people also hate me, because they like me so much because of how different I am. So let's move on. Yeah. It's the fear of being judged. But even more so, it's okay, so it's the fear of being judged, but even more so, it's the fear of being judged at your worst. So pretty much, we just have a fear of being judged at our worst point in life. So obviously, if you're using drugs, half the time you're gonna use because you're not at your lowest point, but you feel like you're at your lowest point. Like you feel like there's no way out of life, or there's nowhere out of feeling miserable without being happy. I said that completely wrong. If you feel like there's no way feeling happy or not miserable without using or escaping some type of way, shape, or form, which is usually using drugs, social media, music, all that. Music's like also a similar addiction, you know what I'm saying? The difference is music actually manipulates your brain waves, your frequencies and stuff a little more, you know what I'm saying? Just like drugs though. Like drugs fuck up your frequency all the time. People don't even realize that. You take a drug, it's not that it's a lower vibration necessarily, but it's more so when you take the drug, your mind and your brain chemistry is being manipulated to where you think differently. So then your vibration changes based on those emotions you feel or don't feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's just move on. Also, I want to hear what y'all got to say on this too. So comment, like it, share it. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's for. So you can comment on anything on this playlist and feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, don't put your name and age and all that. If your name's on there, that's fine. But just don't be like, hey, my name's Bill. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want your business getting out there and then feeling judged and exposed, and then same thing happens again. And then just be aware that other people are gonna comment and judge you in the comment section, and are, you know, being that people love to fuck with my shit. Just expect the government to come and fuck with your comments and make you feel judged in the comments so you can go use, so they can get more money put back in the economy. Expect that shit, okay? Because we know who the government works for and who they work with, especially if you're an addict. And this isn't to fuck up nobody's bag. This is just, you know what I'm saying? This is just for anybody that wants to heal, anybody that's looking for, you know, somebody to understand them. Simple as that, you know what I'm saying? So drugs change our ration. Oh my god, I sound like not Roger Rabbit, but someone could be watching that. Porky Pig, whatever the fuck. So drugs change our rational way of thinking. So a way of coping is to assume and push these people out, because you're not trying to think of shit but getting high anyway. So you need those thoughts to leave. Also, stress makes you use. So some people blame you for anything just to have a reason to use, and this makes it harder for relationship dynamics as well, outside of the fear of being judged. So sometimes we just, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just want to use and just don't want to admit the shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just be perfectly happy. We're not even bored. We just want a reason to motherfucking get high. You know what I'm saying? So we motherfucking be like, damn, this motherfucking dropped my cake. Now I gotta get high. Damn, this motherfucker ain't pick me up on time. Now I gotta get high. Damn, this bitch just called me a bitch. Now I gotta get high. You know what I'm saying? It could even be as simple as, damn, I'm bored. I want to get high. We just simply just want to get high and just can't admit it. But it's also like a thing, like it manipulates your brain. It changes your brain chemistry, and it's not even like bad. Like I said, it's a rational way of you know, it's not rational, but it's human nature. It's also because, like, you know what I'm saying, your brain, it's like you're getting high, so your brain chemistry is changing. So like your brain's getting used to having drugs too. So your brain's like, oh, your brain's manipulating you into thinking like, damn, like I really wish I had some weed right now. I really wish I had some crack. Damn, I really want to drink. You think you want to drink because you want to party, but the whole time your brain is like literally going through withdrawal, and we don't even see the shit. Now, they're gonna fuck with my video. Like I said, I already started one video. This might cut out, whatever the case may be. I might even just stop the video and just continue. But just be aware that you're bound to be fucked with more when you're in recovery, okay? And so if you start making videos like this too, because I'm getting someone's gonna be inspired and start making videos like this too, just be aware that you're gonna be attacked by the government only for the reason of the biggest money-making industry is the drug industry. Whether it's for health issues or literally just health issues that initially are meant for healing your health, but just goes into drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like opiates and stuff like that. So especially with fentanyl and all that, they're making and shit, and they're trying to, they don't want us using fentanyl and shit and opiates, but they quick to prescribe that shit, right? And if they're not quick to prescribe the shit, when they do prescribe the shit, they're quick to up the dosage. It makes no sense. I literally had my doctor tell me, oh, I shouldn't use, I had one doctor told me, oh, I shouldn't use hydrocodone when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, but then they motherfucking prescribed the shit. Like, nigga, what? Like, I literally told him I didn't even want to use this shit, so it made no sense. Then I even had a psychologist. It's, this is also the government's way of drug testing me. Not drug testing me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, doing experiments on me and stuff like that, too, in a psychological way. But, yeah, so, my psychiatrist is telling me, oh, you shouldn't, use opiates. Meanwhile, he's my little drug addiction counselor, psychologist. So he's prescribing me, antidepressants and stuff like that. But he's literally on the drug addiction unit. So it's not surprising, you know what I'm saying? But he told me, oh, I shouldn't be, I said, I think I'm ready for Ativan, you know what I'm saying? Xanax, shit like that, for anxiety. And he was like, oh, no, I don't think you should use that. I don't want you getting addicted. And I can tell by your personality. You told me you already had a long history of cocaine use when you were like 15 years old and stuff like that, 14 years old. But then this nigga still prescribed me Ativan. And that wasn't the issue. He was like, oh, we're going to slowly up the dosage. He went from 0.5 to literally 2 milligrams. So he went from I almost said a half a bar. So someone takes Xanax here and they understand what I'm talking about. But they went from like a lower dosage to literally just 2 grams. Like fast as fuck. 2 grams, milligrams, what the fuck? I don't know, I forgot. Milligrams. 2 milligrams fast as fuck. It's crazy. So don't think these people are always out here just to help you, because some people will make it seem like they're trying to help you. They're trying to benefit themselves. Don't forget, he also gets, an extra cut in his check when you start using. He also gets an extra cut in his check when you are using, because especially if it's a drug counselor, drug addiction unit, they want you to use. So of course they're going to sell drugs. Of course they're going to get high right in front of you, because they need you to be triggered so they can get customers, so they can keep getting paid. No one needs counseling. No one's going to get paid. So obviously a drug counselor is going to come on under here and try and, oh, you're not right and this and that. Like, this isn't from my own experience. So obviously I must be right, because it's the same thing as going to NA. So what the fuck is different between my video and your motherfucking counseling? Half of the time, your drug counselor will sit up here and talk shit about you, make you insecure and all this shit so you can go use. Meanwhile, they're motherfucking high and dope telling you about how you're such a piece of shit for motherfucking using and losing your kids. So just think about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because these niggas ain't really for you. Just like Kodak said, these bitches ain't really fucking with you, dog. Shit's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit, you know what I'm saying? It's, what's the song called? Jules Whole Time, Kodak Black. Someone needs to listen to that song. But, let's just move on. So next time you're being rejected, look at their actions, their habits, see what their withdrawal symptoms and behaviors or of certain addictions are. Realize this. Then realize the difference between your addictions and theirs. If it's the same, then they're using you as a scapegoat to use. Because if you have the same addictions and you get high with this person, you got money, this person got money, it's not like you're just using this person to get high. They're using you as a scapegoat to get high. And, you know what I'm saying, they could be manipulating your emotions, starting arguments with you. Whole time, you could be doing this, starting arguments with this person so you get high. Whole time, you don't even realize when this person starting arguments with you, they're doing the same shit. Starting an argument with you so they can get high too. So you start an argument, they start an argument too. Whole time y'all got the same idea and don't even realize that. But yeah, when you don't have the same addiction, that it's not really so much using you as a scapegoat. I mean, it's a scapegoat too, you can be used as, but it's way more obvious when you're both using the same drugs. You know what I'm saying? And it's both known that you both are addicts, and you both know out of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Say I'm talking to someone and I'm telling them I'm an addict and they're telling me they're an addict. It's different if they're telling you they're an addict versus someone else telling you they're an addict and you just know it. You know what I'm saying? If they personally give you this knowledge of them being an addict and what they use and all this shit, they're just using you as a scapegoat. Or they feel, like I said, they have the fear of being judged. They feel judged in some type of way, shape, or form, or so on, like I said before. I'm also going to put this in my bio so you can read this as well. Hold on. This goes for all drugs. Weed is a drug, but can be used for medicinal purposes. So if a person says they only smoke weed, look at them and their character a little more. Because half of the time, a lot of people will say they only smoke weed because the fear of being judged. They don't want to be judged. You could use the same shit, and they just don't want to be judged by you. Simple as that. Like, I've literally had so many friendships. Like, half of the people that's following me and shit like that, them motherfuckers been using the same shit and actually started using drugs years after me. I mean, like, I started using drugs when I was like, technically elementary school. I started drinking when I was elementary. I didn't even realize it till like I got out of rehab the second time. So, you know what I'm saying? And even then, that wasn't even really, that was just me being an addict trying to benefit off the fact that they was gonna give me an apartment. Once again, this is my prime example. Y'all see what I'm saying, right? I was going to rehab, not to get clean, bitch. I was still ready to smoke K2 after them 28 days. I was just going there just to get an apartment. Still didn't get the motherfucking apartment, and still was smoking K2 after that. So where the fuck did I get? Nowhere else, and then start popping Molly. So I started popping pills again. So it didn't even matter. So let's move on. Then I was in that bitch trying to get Ativan again. They wouldn't give that to me, and then I was extra motherfucking mad. Then I was just taking Benadryl for no reason. All this extra shit. I actually just added on to my list even more going to that motherfucker. So yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, they could just lie and say they smoke weed and only weed. They're lying half of the time. Most people don't just smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they say, oh, I only smoke weed, and you know damn well they drink, you know they lying. Because they didn't even say, oh, I only smoke weed and drink. If they say I only smoke weed and drink, half the time they're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Or they're telling you that they only use weed and alcohol as a main drug of choice, and they don't really go the other route on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That could be what it is too. But people fail to realize when they say, oh, I'm just smoking weed, they usually smoke everything. I'm sorry, I'm being real. I'm not trying to judge nobody, but it's true. Like, half the time, all those friends that turned on me and shit like that, when they said they only smoke weed, the motherfuckers were smoking crack, dope, meth. Like they weren't just taking pills no more. They weren't just smoking K2 no more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like, you know, it's actually really weird because K2 should honestly be put in the same category as meth, crack, dope, amphetamines and shit like that. They don't like to admit that. But it should. I didn't like to admit that shit either. I was going to rehab talking about, oh, I'm not a dope head. Niggas over here talking about, bitch, it's dope weed. Like, it's heroin weed. It really is, especially because the weed I was getting had fentanyl and dope in it. So, a sprinkle with fentanyl and dope. So, and I knew the shit. So, who's really into that? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real here. So, but yeah, it should be put in the same category. Counselors kept trying to tell me that both times I went to rehab. I wasn't trying to hear that shit either. I'm literally just now admitting this shit in this video. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a process. This isn't no overnight shit. This is like a year process. Years. This is a process that happens for years. Like, I literally been actively in recovery since I was 15 years old, and I've been using since I was using every day since I was 13. So that just says a lot. You know what I'm saying? And even then, like, I was using drugs, and I was giving people drugs of choices I wasn't even consuming. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even consume the drugs I was giving to people until like literally like years later. Like 10 years later. 10 years later. Meaning like now. You know what I'm saying? Last couple years. So the shit's crazy. I'm feeding y'all drugs. Meanwhile, I'm not even taking the shit, and I just took it like a few years ago. You don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I'm telling y'all, just be aware. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the saying, like, people like to say once a dope head, once always a dope head, but once an addict, always an addict. Because you're always gonna be recovering your whole life. People like to make it seem like, oh, you're only gonna be in recovery 10 years, 20 years. Nah, nigga, recovery is a whole life thing. Like, if you went to an NA group or a rehab and you had a speaker going there, they'll tell you that straight up. If they're being real with you, you'll know, because they'll tell you straight up, even if they lie and say it was 10 years ago and they used right before they came in that bitch, and you clearly saw that. They will tell you, you know what I'm saying? What I said, I forgot what I said. I'm not even gonna lie. But the last thing I just said, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll tell you, shit. They'll tell you it's not easy. That's what I was gonna say. They'll tell you it's not easy, and it's a lifelong recovery. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not easy. It's not. And like, people that like to say like, oh, like, it's funny because the people that actually are in recovery and actually are benefiting from recovery and like to, you know, probably not admit that they're recovering are the addicts. Like, the people that you think that are just using drugs all the time, are the ones that are trying to recover and don't even tell you they're in recovery. So the whole time you're trying to get high with this motherfucker and shit, you don't even realize this person trying to recover more than the motherfucker that's telling you they're in recovery. You know what I'm saying? That's the real tea. And don't get it fucked up, because once again with that judgment thing, we like to judge a lot too because we're used to being judged. So don't sit up here and judge somebody talking about some, you could be using dope, but you go sit up here and talk about someone else using dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna use that example anymore because I don't use dope. So I could be smoking K2 and I turn around and talk about somebody else using K2. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like, once again, human nature, I've done that too. So like, you know what I'm saying? There's been times I sat up here and, because talked about somebody else's addiction because my addiction isn't as bad as theirs, or I think my addiction isn't as bad as theirs. Because half of the time, when I went to rehab, the last 2 times, because I only went 2 times, but like I said, trying to be an addict and use, like I said, once an addict, always an addict, technically, but don't feel bad about it. It's like I realized, hold on, someone's trying to mess with me mentally, so just give me a minute. I'll just come back around to it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just funny. You know what I'm saying? Recovery is like interesting. Like, it's really interesting. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, so if they say they only smoke weed, then just look at their character a little more, because addicts lie. Addicts like to lie. Addicts like to lie to get what they want. Addicts like to lie to get high. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. So even if you motherfucker, if they simply just don't want to get high with you, they'll lie to you like you didn't motherfucking get high with the ass 10 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Just think about this shit. Like, and also just remember, once an addict, always an addict. So we're gonna have addict traits. You know what I'm saying? So if you know you would do something, just know that person would do something too. That's why when y'all motherfuckers be following me and shit, and y'all sit up here and think y'all so smart, bitch, how do you think you know me and how I think I know you? Because we both addicts, looking at each other, mirror to mirror. I'm staring in the mirror and you staring at me too. Look, an addict's talk about blah, blah, blah over here. Exactly. When you're actively using, you don't want to hear that shit. It's fine. Nobody told them to listen while I'm talking about either. So, okay, let's move on. See that you may have addictions. You do. Okay. Oh, see that they may have addictions you do or don't have, and maybe even some more. And don't be shocked, because weed is a gateway drug. So I'm not gonna get into that because, like I said, medicinal purposes and all that. But meaning they're likely to use other drugs if they smoke weed at some point in their life. If they say that it's only weed and alcohol, then realize this person might just strictly be an alcoholic as well. Because if they say they only use weed and alcohol, they could just strictly be an alcoholic. Because people forget, alcoholism is just as bad as crack, dope, meth, K2. That's on the same tier too. You know what I'm saying? It just depends who's drinking. Like, reality, because I'm literally an alcoholic, but like, it's weird. I did not admit it until like literally a few months ago, and it's weird because I have a family full of alcoholics. Everybody's an alcoholic, literally, not exaggerating. And it's weird because like I don't drink that much, and I don't get out of control when I drink like that, unless I'm drinking like a couple of pints. But even then, my nigga, why do I have to drink like three handles of Henny to motherfucking and realize I'm an alcoholic versus, I drink a whole handle, so I'm not an alcoholic? Like, you know what I'm saying? That itself says a lot. Sometimes people get drunk and use other drugs and forget as well. So don't just judge them like, oh, you're lying and da da da. You know what I'm saying? People do get drunk. They could be an alcoholic, forget they even smoke crack. I've done drugs. I've like popped pills before, and I know I ended up smoking crack some point in my life by accident. You know what I'm saying? Or on purpose. When I mean by accident, obviously it was not an accident because I did it on purpose. But like, the thing is, like, I didn't realize what I was doing, and I probably just don't remember it. Because I know for a fact, one time I was doing coke, I blacked out, and I literally just remembered like not remembering shit for hours because I was like walking around on K-pins and coke and all these like 7 different drugs at once, and I was like drooling on myself like I was like like, you know what I'm saying? And then like literally I just remember just smelling like crack out of nowhere. But meanwhile, I ain't seen nobody smoke crack the whole time. The whole time. How the fuck does that make sense? I ain't seen nobody smoke crack the whole time. The whole 3 days I've been up, but somehow, some way, I ain't smoked crack before. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right. So sometimes people drink and use other drugs and forget as well. So take that into consideration. This is the mind of an addict, and we all do it, whether we like to admit it or not. I myself have done this more than I like to admit, and I am realizing through my spiritual awakening, whether it's cocaine, Molly, alcohol, pills, lean, K2, and or psychedelics, it's just the feeling of wanting to feel understood, even heard when under the influence. So that's why this channel is here. This playlist is here too. So if you want to feel heard, even while you're fucking high as shit, I don't give a fuck. Watch my video. If you just want to feel not alone while you're high as fuck watching my video, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got a problem. It's just the feeling of wanting to feel understood, even heard when under the influence. It's not the wrong thing to do either. It's actually a good thing when we do this, because who wants to have fun and not be heard or used? So even if you think of it in the perspective of I'm only using drugs to have fun, who simply just like, who wants to be ignored while they're having fun? Who wants to be judged while they're having fun? Same shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to have fun and not be heard or used? To not feel emotions and still not be heard? Very logical. Second nature thinking. That's my spiel, I say. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the video. Like, comment, share. Like I said, comment, tell me your experience. You know what I'm saying? If you're actively using, you don't gotta tell me all that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not actively using, you don't gotta tell me all that. You don't gotta comment shit. You don't gotta like shit. You don't gotta share shit. You don't even gotta let me know who you are. But you know what I'm saying? It's just so someone else can feel understood. Because a lot of, time in life, people start attacking other people and hurting other people, and feel some type of way because they don't feel heard. Because I notice a lot of addicts are going through the spiritual awakening stuff and spirituality stuff, and they don't like feeling judged just because they're spiritual, but they also have a hard issue admitting to other people going through spiritual awakenings they're addicts, because they don't want to feel like, oh, they're not going to listen to me because I'm an addict. You know what I'm saying? Or people feel like they have this knowledge that they want to give to people, and they don't want to feel not heard or misunderstood because they're an addict. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like almost like me doing this like science videos and shit like on the Astro. Obviously, if I tell you, let's say I'm actively using right now. Say I was actively using coke right now. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But say I was actively using coke right now. I would feel some type of way if I made a video on the Astro Realm and then y'all niggas was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe her because she's a cokehead. Just like y'all motherfuckers try to like come for me on my motherfucking TikTok and talk all this shit and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. Oh, she's a cokehead and she must be on fentanyl, the Fetty and all that shit. First of all, Fetty, like I said, I haven't outright just done fentanyl, done dope, you know what I'm saying? But I have like had, you know what I'm saying, K2, so I've had to consume it, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's motherfuckers walking around following me all day, blowing shit in my face, trying to make me come off like I'm not in recovery. They're trying to make it look like I'm actively using, okay? And that's hard because you know how hard it is to like literally sit here and be in recovery and then try and tell niggas you're literally in recovery while motherfuckers is literally blowing drugs in your face and you're getting high because they're literally forcing you to get high so you can look crazy. I even sound crazy saying this shit. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking frustrating. That shit does not happen to people. You know what I'm saying? Not often, at least. Not often enough for people to talk about or come out and talk about. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, this is something so rare to the point where I'm literally going to have to talk about this shit and look crazy as hell for motherfuckers to get the point. And so motherfuckers don't have to go through this or feel alone. Once again, look. My notes start dripping at the perfect timing. You know why? Because here come the motherfuckers. Now all of a sudden the library's open. Like, I haven't been sitting out here for how long? Now that I want to talk about addiction and recovery, now the library's open. Now I sniff. Exactly, that's my point. Shit's crazy. Y'all saw how I didn't like sniff the whole time. Exactly. And it's crazy, like I said. Once y'all start like, and the thing is like they be manipulating my videos too, so you can't hear the background noises as much too, because they're trying to manipulate it. So that way, when I call the shit out, you can't hear the people around me or the shit that's around me. You know what I'm saying? To know, okay, she just said that this person said this in the background, so let's listen in. You know what I'm saying? So you can't listen, because once I called it out and people started like you know, being able to notice what I was hearing in the background or seeing what in the background and this and that. Then they started like blurring my background, as you can see in this whole motherfucking video. Look, now they want to make it bright. Look, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, the background noise is quiet as hell. I'm in New York City. How the fuck you? I'm literally dead in the. I'm in the epicenter of motherfucking Manhattan right now. I'm literally in Times Square, my nigga. Y'all don't hear none of these motherfucking cars? Exactly, that's my point. I'm literally where the motherfucking buses drop everybody off in Manhattan. But you're telling me you can't hear the bus, the cars, the construction, the motherfuckers walking past me, opening the door, trying to throw shit in my face, pretending like they going to read something that's also in recovery or motherfucking actively a motherfucking addict? Okay then. Like, comment, share. That's my spiel.